Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to break down a concept that can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. Interest. Seriously, this is a force that can cost you a fortune or make you wealthy, kind of while you sleep. By the end of this, you'll get exactly how to make your money work for you. Let's dive in. So let's start with a kind of weird question. Can money have a rental fee? It sounds a little strange, I know, but if you can wrap your head around this one simple idea, you've basically unlocked the entire secret to how interest works. So here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into that rent for money idea. Then, we'll look at the two sides of the coin, what it costs you to borrow and the reward you get for saving. And we'll wrap it all up with the real magic, compounding, and why it is so important for your future. All right, section 1. The absolute simplest way to think about interest is this. It's just the rent you either have to pay or that you get to earn for using somebody else's cash. And that's it, really. It's the price you pay to borrow money. It's like renting a car or an apartment. You're paying a fee for the privilege of using something that isn't yours for a while. With money, believe it or not, the concept is exactly the same. So that brings us to the side of interest that, let's be honest, most of us run into first, the cost of borrowing. This is when you're the one paying that rent. Let's make this real with a story about a student. We'll call him Ben. So he needs a $50,000 loan for college, and the bank gives it to him at a 5% annual interest rate. Now, this means Ben doesn't just owe 50 grand. As you can see there in step 4, he owes an extra $2,500 every single year. That's the rent he pays on that money. And here's an even more common example. Let's say you take out a $10,000 car loan at 6% interest. You're not just paying back $10,000. Nope, you're paying back $10,600. That extra $600, that's the rental fee. It's a perfect reminder of how that interest rate directly pumps up the total price. Okay, enough about paying interest. Let's flip the script and talk about the fun part, the much more exciting side of this whole thing, earning interest. This is where your money finally starts working for you. You see, when you put your money in a savings account, you're not just, sticking it in a vault. You're actually lending that money to the bank. And for letting them borrow your cash, they pay you a little thank you fee. And that fee, that's interest. All of a sudden, you're the lender. So you might be wondering, how can the bank afford to pay me? Well, it's a pretty simple business model. They take your money, they pool it with deposits from a bunch of other savers, and then they lend it all out to someone else, maybe a family buying a house. Now, they might charge that family, say, 7% interest, while they're only paying you 2%. The bank pays you your cut, and that difference, well, that's their profit. So, does the actual interest rate matter all that much? Oh, you better believe it. Just take a look at this. If you have $5,000 saved up, a really low-rate account might earn you just 50 cents a year. A year. But a high-yield account with a 1% APY, that's annual percentage yield, that earns you over $50. It's the same amount of savings, but 100 times the reward. This is exactly why it pays to shop around for a better rate. Okay, now we get to what a lot of people call the most powerful force in all of finance. If regular interest is your money working for you, then think of compound interest as your money's superpower. And the idea is actually pretty simple. It just means you earn interest on your initial deposit, and then you start earning interest on that interest. It's interest on your interest. It creates this snowball effect that just gets bigger and bigger and rolls faster and faster over time. So let's imagine Ben again, but this time he's saving 10 grand at a 5% rate. In the first year, boom, he earns $500. But check out year 2. He earns 5% on his new balance, the $10,500, which is $525. And by year 3, he's earning interest on over $11,000. See that? Every year, the earnings get a little bit bigger. That, right there, is compounding in action. So, okay, we've defined interest, we've seen how it costs us, how it can pay us, and we've uncovered its superpower. But what does all of this really mean for the big picture? For your actual future? I mean, this quote really says it all. You hear this again and again. Financial experts pretty much all agree that just understanding and using compound interest is maybe the single most important key to building wealth over the long haul, especially for huge goals like retirement. It is the engine that turns small, regular savings into a serious nest egg over time. So what do you really need to remember from all this? First, interest is just the price of using money. Simple. Second, when you borrow, you need to hunt for the lowest rate possible. It saves you real money. Third, when you save, do the complete opposite. Find the highest rate you can. And finally, you have to make compound interest your absolute best friend for the long game. So, we'll leave you with this last thought. Interest is this incredibly powerful tool, right? It can work against you when you're in debt, or it can work for you day and night when you save and invest. The choice is really up to you. So the question is, now that you know how it works, what are you going to do about it? Thanks for tuning in.